It seems like we now know every main character in the Super Mario Galaxy movie. We even got posters for all the main characters, and we've seen all the cast reveals and even trailers for all the main characters that are going to be in this movie, except for you, Honey Queen. But I have a theory, and not just a theory, but full evidence to support that there is one more major character in this movie. From all the scenes that I've watched and collected, I've been feeling this since the very beginning, and it's seeming even more evident now than ever. This is your one and only warning for the video. In case I am correct about this, and this does turn out to be the case, this would be a huge spoiler probably for the movie, so just keeping that in mind. I do not have official information, this is all speculation. Alright, let's dive in. The one character that I think they are hiding from us in the Super Mario Galaxy movie is none other than Elvin Gadd. Yes, Gadd is going to be in the Mario Galaxy movie, I wholeheartedly believe, and this is why. So first off, Bowser Jr. just kind of appears in this movie, and we don't know why so far. Where has Bowser Jr. been this entire time and through the entire story of the first movie? He's just kind of been absent, and now he's just here for some reason. And it's very evident through the entire trailer that Bowser Jr. is inseparable with his paintbrush. In fact, in every single shot we see Bowser Jr. so far in this movie, he has his paintbrush with him. Now, of course, Bowser Jr. is known for his paintbrush, but I mean, it is in literally every scene. Even scenes where Bowser Jr. can't be seen and Mario's getting blown up or something, you can see the paintbrush always in the frame. Now we know from the trailers that Bowser Jr.'s goal is to save his dad, rebuild his father's army, and take revenge on Mario and the Mushroom Kingdom. Now how does this compare to his in-game counterpart? Well, the first time we see him, he actually takes the persona as Shadow Mario. Bowser pretty much tricks his son into believing that Peach is his mom, just to kidnap her. Also, in that game, Bowser Jr. and his paintbrush are inseparable. We've seen him use his paintbrush in many spin-offs and other titles as well, but in this game only, he has it with him and tethered to him in every single scene. And he even tells Mario how he got his hands on the paintbrush in the first place. Take a listen.
This is my magic brush. When I draw with this, all my wishes come true. A strange old man in a white coat gave it to me. A strange old man in a white coat?
Yep, Bowser Jr. just pretty much outright confirms that Gadd is the one that gave him the paintbrush. But this is nothing new. We knew this, in fact, his symbol is on the base of the brush with his face on it. And his symbol is even on Flood, referencing the fact that he made that machine as well. As funny as that is and how much of a role he played in this game, we never actually see him in the game, like at all. He only appeared about a couple years before in the launch title Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube. But in Sunshine, he's nowhere to be seen. In fact, we don't even truly know how the exchange of the paintbrush truly went. It could be as simple as Bowser Jr. just asked and he thought he was a nice friendly kid and he gave him a paintbrush. But with all the power that that brush has, odds are he forced his way in and stole it from Gadd or something along those lines. But this is why I feel like this story is going to be revisited in a way in Super Mario Galaxy's movie. However, one key difference so far is Bowser Jr.'s paintbrush does not have Gadd's symbol on it. Instead, it has his own Bowser Jr. symbol. Now this doesn't really mean anything. In the modern games now, Gadd's symbol has not appeared on the brush. It's been simply his symbol. And they could easily explain this by saying something like, hey, when Bowser Jr. picks up the brush, it just changes and it goes to his symbol instead of Gadd's. And plus, I feel like they wouldn't want to reveal that or even tease that in the trailers if it's a major reveal in the movie. But it goes far beyond this, because we see lots of crazy constructions from Bowser Jr. before it seems like Bowser even teams up with his son. How in the world did Bowser Jr. build a giant mega battle planet or a giant mega leg robot all by himself with no help from Bowser? And how did he even get the paintbrush in the first place? This thing seems way more powerful than his video game counterpart, even allowing him to turn into a fairy version of himself. Sure, maybe there's a slight chance that Kamek was the one to help him with this, but if Kamek had the abilities to do all of this by himself, how in the world did Bowser lose to Mario in the first movie? I feel like for some reason Gadd is helping the bad guys. I feel like it's out of his control. Maybe he's being hypnotized or controlled by Kamek or something, but I feel like he's maybe been kidnapped and they're using his technology and making him build things for Bowser Jr., Kamek, and eventually Bowser himself. If you look at any scenes of them in a laboratory or inside of machinery like Mega Leg itself, there's a color pattern going on. Take this scene where Kamek is seemingly controlling Mega Leg from the inside. The inside of this machine is extremely color-coded to things that we've seen with Gadd. There's tons of red switches and chairs and also green dials on computer screens. I mean, literally just look at the front of the controls. You can see green screens everywhere, and also look at that green little camera. Gadd is known to have a green and red color scheme. All of his machines are red with green screens, and he even uses a red and green camera called the Pixelator in order to warp Luigi from mansion to mansion and back to his lab again. I mean, just look at his lab. It's filled with tons of dials of red and green screens and charts and graphs all over the wall, sitting on his big comfortable chair filled with buttons and gizmos and gadgets all over the place. And this same type of color scheme continues in Luigi's Mansion 3. I mean, shoot, look at the Poltergust G00 from Luigi's Mansion 3. It's all red with green dials all over it and the green Gooigi goop that's in the inside of the vacuum chamber. And everything, even from the chair with all the doodads and buttons, feels like an Gadd reference, but it goes further than just this. We see a scene of Bowser Jr. confronting Rosalina in a very high-tech lab. And if you look behind Rosalina, once again, the entire lab is covered in green screens and also red chairs, including one side of the chair that's filled with buttons and almost looks like a DS screen that's flipped up. In fact, in Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon, Luigi uses a device called the dual screen, which is pretty much just the Nintendo DS, but he uses it to communicate to Gadd when he's outside of the lab in one of the mansions. So what if this was like a temporary lab that they made for Gadd in space? Or maybe they just picked up his lab and brought it into space and is controlling him in order to work for Bowser Jr. and Kamek. I mean, in the very same scene, we even see Kamek watching in the back as Bowser Jr. slams her into this chair. Now I'm guessing they're going to try to mind control her and make her an enemy of the Mario brothers, and they're going to have to fight her or something. But this whole scene is just so strange. This is so Gadd coded. But yeah, every single scene of some type of laboratory or machines in the background just screams Gadd. It's the same color scheme in every scene, that red and green. In fact, I'll go another step further. At the very end, we see a scene of Lumily walking down or flying down a hallway, which seems to be some type of prison. They're acting like a prison guard, rattling on the cell doors, and everybody thinks this is a cute and funny scene. But I have a better question. Where the heck is this, and why is there even a prison in the first place? This could just be a simple scene where Mario and the gang gets themselves locked up and they have to be rescued by Lumily or something, but I feel like it could be a lot deeper. What if Gadd was held down here in prison and only let go in order to create something and then put right back in the cell, and Lumily finds him and frees him from his imprisonment? Something else we know is Nintendo's trying to create a cinematic universe with these movies. They already stated that they wanted more than just Mario to have films. We already had a Zelda movie announced, there's rumors of a Donkey Kong movie coming, and there's even talk amongst the cast like Chris Pratt himself and even Charlie Day saying that they would love to do a Luigi's Mansion movie, and even rumors circling that early development has already started on such movie. If they're going to do that, a perfect way to kind of ease into that film is to introduce some characters from the Luigi's Mansion storyline. They already introduced Donkey Kong and pretty much his whole kingdom in the first movie, so it's probably why we're not seeing Donkey Kong in Galaxy, because he's probably going to have his own movie eventually, but it would be really cool to have Gadd show up as at least a small part of the story, because then he could be a main character for something in the future like a Luigi's Mansion movie. But either way, I am fully convinced that Gadd is going to show up in this movie in one way or another. I'd be truly surprised if all this color scheme, all these creations, robots, and giant planets was just built by Bowser Jr. and Kamek this entire time, and all this was one big coincidence. I highly doubt it. And you know I love some Sunshine references. In fact, we have Piantas already confirmed in the movie, a bunch of them in the Gateway Galaxy. Plus, the entrance to the casino area in the movie is a giant Petey Piranha mouth, so I'm really hoping that he appears in this movie and not just as a giant neon sign for a casino. So obviously the icing on top would be perfect to have Gadd in this movie as well. But what do you guys think? Is Gadd actually going to make an appearance in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, or am I reaching a little too far? Or do I have some good evidence that maybe suggests this? Let me know down below, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things the Super Mario Galaxy movie and Nintendo in general. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.